All right, so we're getting into our first match here, and mind you that yes, I'm artificially setting up these 1v1s. In your case, you're gonna actually have the added benefit of being with your enemies for a long period of time. So I want you to be studying everything that they do, pick up on their tendencies, pick up on their patterns, their strategies, and everything that they're doing. That way, you can use it against them once you get into the 1v1 scenario, and of course, the entirety of your match. But that's neither here nor there. For now, that's going to be the only difference between what you're doing and what I'm doing. Everything else is going to stay the same. All the tips and tricks and everything that we're going to follow is the same, other than I want you to use your knowledge to your advantage. So a good rule of thumb is to know that when we have a lesser amount of table cards in our hand, it's more likely for the enemy to have more, and vice versa. If we have a lot, it's less likely for them to also have a lot. So we're going to be using that to our advantage. So in this case, we don't have that many. We only have two. So there's a good chance that maybe, hey, that guy's 3 makes sense. Now, this isn't going to be correct every single time, but instead of just guessing and just, this time I guess I'll call liar, let's use what we know to our advantage. So we know that there's a lot of table cards out there, so there's a good chance he might actually have 3 table cards. So let's not call him out on a liar with his 3 play. Let's stall until he can play the 2. So more than likely, if he does only have the 2, or he had the 3 like we suggested there, he was going to call me out as a liar there. The only other option he had was to place down his cards, and then we were obviously going to call him out as a liar as well. So he was in a stuck position there. We made the correct decision, and this is going to be a quick one. We're going to move on to the next game real quick. But that was one little scenario of, how you can counteract with the multiple cards being thrown. We're going to jump to other examples right now. Don't worry. All right, and like I said, we're right back into action. We got the same guy with us. He had an unlucky draw, so let's go ahead and see if we can learn a little bit more in this game. So we're gonna, like we just went over, we're gonna be using how many table cards we have to our advantage to make those educated guesses. So right now we don't know what's going on. We're gonna go ahead and slow play this out, throw down one of our cards, and see what SMK is gonna do here. See if he wants to play multiple cards, which in this case he's not. So I'm going to throw in a lie there because I'm assuming he has at least 2 or 3 cards, and I need to gain the advantage or at least be on even footing with him. So I went ahead and I jumped on.
Someone's got a death wish.
Actually, okay, so this is throwing me for a loop. So it's actually kind of likely that he has 3 table cards. This is a bad situation. This is like a 50-50 now. It's kind of like it's a judgment call. This is when you reading your opponents during your match is going to come in handy to see what kind of plays they were making. I'm going to go ahead and guess that that was the truth, since I'm assuming he does have at least 3 table cards. Let's see if I was right. It would actually be a really big play if he would have kept the 1, which he doesn't. So again, I assumed he had 3. He played down 3. I didn't let that trip me up. I let him play the 3, and look where we are now. We are again succeeding and making educated guesses that would also be based on, how he played throughout our game normally. Whatever game that you're going to be in, make sure you keep a track of what they're doing, how they're playing. That way this can influence the way that you make these guesses. So here, in this scenario, again, it's likely that he has a couple aces up his sleeve. Now, remember, if he keeps doing this, maybe you keep getting drawn bad hands and he keeps playing 3. Start calling out the 3s a lot, because it's very unlikely for a character to keep on getting 3, 3, 3. In this scenario, I kind of want to call it out, but let's stick to what we know, right? Let's go ahead and stick to the game plan. See if he calls me out. And again, it's always good when... Oh, this is going to be good. So when you're in doubt, call out the 3 play. Okay, when you're in doubt, just call out the 3 play. It's always more unlikely for him to have 3 cards than it is for him to have 2 or 1 card. So in this scenario, he kind of beat me out there, which is okay. We just made the bad decision there. Didn't have the best call. So we both taking a shot out of a gun. Now we're taking mental note that he saved 1 card till the end. That's information well received for us. So we're going to use that moving forward, that he's doing something like that. So again, we have 3 cards. We're in the advantage. We could always do some tricky stuff. Let's go ahead and show you. We'll show you this. So I have 3 cards, 3 table cards, 2 lie cards. What I like to do a lot in this scenario, even when there's more people on the board, I throw 2 and then 1. It really makes you look like you are telling the truth on the 2, which you are, but then you don't have anything else on the 3. So, and him, okay, here we go. Him throwing the 3 We have 3 table cards. The chances that we both have 3 table cards is so low. So let's go ahead and take the chance to call him out. Since I already had the 3 table cards, I don't think you have 3 table cards as well. That would kind of be ridiculous to me. So we're using our table cards, how many we have, to call out his bluffs.
Let's see if luck's still on my side.
And you're not going to be right every single time. So never trip up about that. The point of this guide is to get you a higher percent win rate against the 1v1s. It's to get you better guessing, give you more educated guesses, and get you up on top more times than not. So in this scenario, we know that he is telling the truth. If we had 1 queen, we would be in a beautiful position. I think we're going to get called out as a liar here because he has no more moves. He doesn't. He might have 4. If we don't get this, he has 4. If we do get this, he's a bad player. He's a bad player. He should have just called me out. He actually, well, give him the benefit of the doubt. He probably thought I had at least 1 more card than I did. So he probably thought that was the truth card that I threw down. But you see how we used our table cards to our advantage again. So we're like, hey, we got no table cards. He threw down 3. He probably does have 3. So he's doing the 50-50 strategy that I know that you love, or I know that you hate, right? You've seen it a million times. You hate it. But look at this. We're playing around it. We are learning how to beat this strategy. So look at this. This time, we only have 1 table card. And again, this isn't going to work 100% of the time. Let's see how far we can push this, though. So we can assume that he probably does have 3 table cards. And guess what? He has 3 cards in his hand that he wants to place down so bad. Let's go ahead and take the guess on the 2 this time, knowing that he probably does have an abundance.
Liar.
And look at that. We're right again. So again, we're using how many table cards we know that are in play to our advantage to guess how many our opponent does have. And so far, it's been outstandingly successful. We got tripped up 1 time so far, which again is going to happen. Do not be afraid of that happening. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it too. So we got 2 table cards this time. And remember, when in doubt, always say that they don't have the 3. So in this scenario, hey, he could have 3. I only have 2 table cards. It's hard to make a prediction off of just 2. I always kind of lean towards they probably have 2 or 3 as well. Maybe even 1. If they're playing multiple cards, I really don't ever think that they have just 1 card. But we're going to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and do this. Let's give it a shot. Again, it's all guessing games, but we're making the most educated guess.
Liar.
And look at that. We got the scenario right again by using how many table cards we have. We put it all together, and we gave an educated guess to push us towards victory. Now, we've only taken 1 shot of our gun, and we've called this guy out 5 times already. With a reason, right? We didn't just guess. We're being put in these 50-50 scenarios, but we're not guessing about them. We're not just going, okay, well, this time I'm doing this. All right, well, this time I'm going to do that. We are making educated guesses, and you learning how your opponent plays is only going to make this even stronger, guys. I don't even know how this guy plays. This is my first match with them, technically.
3 cards. Someone's got a
So again,
death wish.
likely that he actually does have 3 cards. So why would we call it out? We're not gonna. We're going to let him play. We're going to let him burn himself out.
Liar.
And look at that. We just won the entire game based on making educated guesses, beating his 50-50 strategy. And look at that. We get a sourpuss who leaves the game prematurely. Unfortunate for him that we get the win anyway. But unfortunate for us, if you notice, we lost our rank. I have no idea what happened. A lot of people have been complaining about the servers. But just as a side note, we actually lost our rank. We were Silver Tongue Devil. Now we're back to Rookie. I don't know what's going on, but we need to give you 1 more example, so let's cut to that. All right, now we're jumping in the last example here, getting right into the action here. So we have 1 queen. This guy's throwing down 2. It's likely that he has 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and call out the 2. Now, this is going to be the same thing. Now, before I call this out, I want you to also know, just because you see me doing this and it's working every time, it doesn't mean it's going to. Always use this as a footing to judge what you're going to do next. You know, use it to your advantage, but don't just go by it like religiously. You know what I mean? In this case, look at that. We did get it right. Okay, we're going to do 1 more example. All right, we're jumping right back into action. I'm sorry about that, guys. Not a lot you can do. I guess I've just been winning so consistently on these people. They probably just get frustrated and leave. So don't take this information lightly. Definitely use this and abuse it, guys, because as you can see, it's working just fine against these average players. So let's go ahead and see what we can do to this Chinese man across from us. We got a king's table, and we only have one card. So we're gonna assume that he has multiple cards. Now I'm gonna assume that that is him telling the truth right there. So I'm imagining he's gonna either call me out or throw down his lie cards here. So here he is calling me out. But again, don't do this so literally, guys. Please, I gotta stress that, because you're gonna go into a normal game, you're gonna just see me having some success here, and you're gonna think it's gonna work every time. Now it's gonna work more times than not. I can almost guarantee you that. But feel the room out, understand who you're playing against, use other resources to come up with these decisions, not just what I'm showing you when it comes to the table card trick. So now here's a good example where it's going to be like almost like a guessing game. So I can make a big brain play, throw it on 3. Probably not the best scenario there. It's not even big brain. It's probably the worst scenario you can go with. I could guess the 2. Part of me wants to guess the 2. Let's guess the 2. Part of me wants to guess 2. They could very well have 3. Look at that. We got it. So I didn't really know what to do. I could have very well thrown my card down. I almost did. So just by chance, we went ahead and guessed wrong, or guessed that they were lying, and we're right. And I'm using my cards to my advantage to get this information. I'm not just guessing like a madman. So if anything I want you guys to take away from this, it's just don't guess like a madman. And sometimes, honestly, this is the easiest hand to get. Now, you might get one card on your side and think, man, I'm fucked this time. But guess what? They just threw down 3. You can almost guarantee they do have 3. Stall it out. Let's wait till this last turn. Oh, this time they might have tricked us, though. Hey. All right, there we go. Finally. See, it didn't work. I even got a little overconfident and cocky there since I've been hitting them back to back to back to back. Finally, we got an example of it not working. And luckily, it just didn't end our life, because what kind of lesson that would be? You can get things right a million times. You get one thing wrong and you're dead. But no. Let's gain our composure back. Let's take mental note of what they just did, by the way. And they lied on the 3, and they went and played on the 2. That's what I teach that too. When in doubt, go for them lying on the 3. It's less likely for that to be the case always. So we don't know how they're going to play here. I think we can sneak in a lie card. I got, the feeling I'm getting from the table is that I can sneak that in there. He's going to guess 2. I have 2 table cards. He's pretty unlikely to have 3. He could have the 3. I think he's a little unlikely to. Let's go ahead and play like he doesn't. He does. Look at that. See? Okay. Perfect example of me reading the room wrong. Beautiful example of it. Now, going back and rewinding this, you could see a scenario just similar to that where I'm like, okay, he's probably got the 3. It was almost the same scenario. I came up with a different answer. Again, it is a guess. I can't stress that enough. It is definitely a guess, but these guesses are tiptoeing us towards success. We're getting better educated guesses.
1 is.
So more times than not, our guesses are gonna be right.
1 is.
So we're going and slow playing this hand, and look at that. Just did a quick little slow play. He called us out. He more than likely didn't really have a hand. I'll probably put him at 1 table card that round. It's always good to do that. Even when it rounds over, don't stop gaining information from players if you can. So that's going to be it. I think we've shown enough examples. I'm pretty happy with that. Just to go over everything that we talked about real quick. You can't be afraid of the 50-50 strategy. Do what you can to pick from what I just taught you to get out of that. Don't be afraid to go for the 50-50 strategy yourself. If you put yourself in that situation, I have other videos showcasing that, so you can go ahead and watch those if you need more information on the 50-50 strategy. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. I'm sure I have more 1v1 tips. I'm going to be posting more stuff on 1v1s and this game in general, so I really do hope that helps. I'm going to let these guys do their thing, but again, hope it helped, guys. Peace out. Thanks for watching.